How in the hell we all doing? Let's get into some chit. I've been trying to make this video about 5 times now, and I keep getting notifications, and it's driving me insane. I want to talk to you guys today about living with diabetes. I know a lot of you don't care for these types of videos, but this one kind of goes out to the people who are living with it and are not as bad as I am, or maybe even worse than me. But I have one problem that's working against me, is I don't take care of myself. And I kind of want to talk to those people about taking care of themselves so they don't live with what I've got to go through. About every 6 months, I build up a resistance to insulin, and it sucks because we got to spend another 2 months trying to figure out one that works. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I'm going to leave it on because I love this guy. It's a TV show called Chasing Classic Cars. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's about a gentleman by the name of Wayne Carini. He's out of Connecticut, and he works on my family's exotic cars, their classic cars, their new cars. And he's just an amazing mechanic, and I've known him for years. And my car being up here, and he doesn't really work on them, but he works on my father's. He used to work on my grandfather's. But he's got a TV show now in a shop out of Bristol, Connecticut. I'm trying to remember the goddamn name of the, anyway, that's for another video. But he owns a shop called F40s Motorsports, and he does amazing work, and he's got some of the neatest things in there. I mean, just some of the old, beautiful classics, all the way up to the high-end exotics of today. But if you ever get a chance, check it out. It's called Chasing Classic Cars. His name is Wayne Carini. But yeah, we're getting off topic here. I'm on 4 different types of insulin throughout the day, and I feel like I'm a living pincushion. I've got to test myself every 2 hours. And once again, my numbers have gone boop out in cuckoo la la land. But I'm not a good example to follow because I don't take care of myself. Because I'm a chef, I eat lousy. I'm a smoker. The one thing I'm not is a drinker. That's about the only thing that I managed to get out of my life when I was diagnosed with diabetes about 10 years ago. But anyways, my wife is messaging me right now. She's at work, and most of you know that she works in the emergency room here in Newport on the front line, which is hence why my son and I, and even my daughter has been out here camping out with us. Right now my son is inside doing schoolwork, and I should be probably helping him out instead of doing this video, but I think it's important. 10 years ago I was diagnosed with diabetes, and at that time I was on what's known as metformin, just a simple pill that every diabetic goes on, is probably still on today. As time goes on, your diabetes gets worse. There is no cure for it. There's a way to control it, and this ain't going to help it either. So whatever bad habits you have in your life, listen to me, get them out of your fucking life, because it'll make your life so much easier. Because I'm at to the point right now where I just don't care anymore. I'm tired of it. And I don't even know if cleaning my act up by eating healthy and quit smoking and exercise. I do exercise. That's the other point. I mean, I am losing weight, just not at the speed, because insulin is a blocker. And some of my insulins that I do have, I will, I'll show you. They are insulin blockers, like Humalog is one of them. That's a weight one. Traceba, that's another one. and then good old Lantus, or I'm sorry, Baslinger, something like that. And then my new fangled angled one, which was supposed to be the cure of all cures, Ozempic, which I'm sure you've all seen the commercials for. With those 4 needles, 3 of them I take 4 times a day, the Ozempic once a week, and on top of that, pricking my finger with a fucking oh shit, I forgot it, the lance, to get your numbers off your glucometer. It is important when the doctor tells you you're gonna die if you do not take care of yourself and get this shit under control. Actually, I just noticed something. I'll point this out real quick for the terabyte boy that's gonna break down and psychoanalyze my fucking video. That's a check for $10,000, and the other one's for $500. Like, you know, if you want to go ahead and try cashing them, good luck to you. She'll throw you in jail. That's my grandmother. You know, a lot of us, we invested many years ago, and if you're thinking about investing, don't expect to get rich overnight. It's taken us years. My grandmother is massive in the market. She was lucky enough to, maybe I should do a video about investing instead of diabetes. Maybe I'll kind of combine them both. They were, when the market crashed in, shit, was it 29? I can't remember for sure. 29, 39. But anyways, hold on one second. I want to get the right date. Okay, it was 29. They bought Travelers Insurance, the company, and that's kind of where they got their start. My family comes from old money. Oh God, this is gonna be a longer video than I thought. My name is Robert Linwood Coffin Olmsted. I am by no means blood related to the Olmsteds. My grandmother was married to a Coffin at the time when she had my father, and up to when I was born in '67. They got divorced. I was known as Robert Linwood Coffin. My grandfather owned a company in Windsor Locks called Dexter Corp. It was a textile. They came up with things like hydroponics. They came up with the tiles to the space shuttle. They made the honeycomb for aircraft. All sorts of things like that. The company sold when my cousin Robert, who I'm named after, Robert Linwood, was murdered. Wait a minute. Bozzy's still alive. David Coffin was murdered in Georgia. There's a TV show called The Ghost of David Coffin. It's pretty interesting. You may want to check it out on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's there. It's called The Ghost of David Coffin. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. He was shot in the kneecaps, put underneath the kitchen sink, and was burnt alive. It's a huge controversy as who did it. He was dating a girl. The guy was jealous and shot my cousin. Anyways, getting off topic once again. Back to the market. So my grandmother remarries in Olmsted, so I hyphenated my name into Olmsted, but there's no blood there. My grandfather passed away 30 years ago from lung cancer, from smoking. He was a wonderful man, wonderful man. He's the one that introduced us to Wayne Carini, to show you here in the background. He's the one that worked on all of his Jags, all of his exotics at that time. But we got heavily involved into the stock market. And if you're looking to get rich, it's not going to fucking happen overnight. It's going to take years. And losses and gains. But these checks sitting back here, it's known as dividend checks. And it comes from a broker. Your broker sends it out to you. It sends it into your account, and you know my Uncle Dwight, my Aunt Dee Dee, who passed away not too long ago, Jill, who passed away not too long ago. Literally, Dee Dee and Jill passed away in the same year, about 4 or 5 months apart. My father and I all invested with my grandmother, and these are, the checks that I get at the end of the year. It's not my inheritance yet. No, I chose to wait. Okay, so that's a little tidbit about that. If you guys want to hear more about my life past and the coffins and the homesteads and investing, let me know down in the comment below, and I'll do a video about it. I know a couple of people have approached me about getting in touch with my father and seeing if they can, because my father was a stockbroker, worked for A.G. Edwards for many, many years, and getting involved in stocks and how and what are the good ones and all that type of stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a game of highs and lows, and it takes years. It's not a quick fix of getting rich by any means. You got a better chance of winning the lottery than you do getting rich off of. The big one not too long ago was the .coms, but that's all dead now. That's a lot of new money out there, and if you invested back then with them, you made out phenomenal, but it is not going to happen today. Pharmaceuticals, things like that, insurance companies, things of those natures are the ones that are going to come along a little bit quicker. Living with let's go back to living with diabetes. I know when my diabetes, I created an insulin blocker because I was taking 90 units of Humalog, which is a straight up insulin, and that will kill a horse. It didn't faze me. It took my numbers nowhere. I'm living probably in the 1100s because the glucometer that I have only goes up to 700. When I go to the hospital to get hooked up to the insulin, their glucometer goes up to 800, and then they got to draw blood to actually get your number, and it's the most painful needle you'll ever get in your life because they got to go down literally to your bone and draw it from there, because that is the purest, richest, cleanest, where you're going to get your most accurate readings from. Every time I've gone into the hospital, it's been 1100, 1200. Last time it was 1350. Your eyesight goes. You're tired all the time. You're run down. You're lethargic. If your numbers come crashing out of, in my case, 1300 and come down to 100, it's like getting hit by a fucking bus. No joke. It is the most painful thing. It wipes me out, and for about a day and a half to 2 days where you just don't move. This past weekend I was doing wood because we get our wood this time of year for next burn season, this coming up winter, and my sugars crashed, and it took the living life out of me, and that's when I knew there was a problem. So please take it from me, don't wait until you get to this stage of your life where you got to poke yourself 18 times a day. Everything hurts. Every fingertip hurts. Every pinhole hurts when you go to give yourself an injection. It is just wrong. And I hate to say it, I'm at the point right now where I just don't care anymore. I'm tired of going through it. And I don't believe, in my case, that I know my pancreas is dead. It's shot the shit. It's not producing anything anymore. And if I stop taking the insulin, I'll probably be dead in a couple of months. If the coronavirus doesn't get me first. But, oh shit. An old Aston Martin. I love this show. Aston Martins are one of my favorite Maseratis. Even the McLarens, those are the ones that I thrive after. Ferrari's okay, but it's like a name brand Levi jeans at this point in time for me. Their La Ferraris are nice. I like the old 308s, even into the 512 Berlinetta Boxers. Such pretty cars. I don't know what's better, looking at a beautiful woman or an old classic car, an old Ferrari, Lamborghini. I hate Lamborghini. I don't know why, but I can't stand Lamborghini. Let's finish up with diabetes, and then we'll get tangent on other things. But take it from me, you need to, oh my God, ridiculous. I'm not kidding you, I've made this video 4 times. There's just been non-stop messaging and this, that, and everything else. Last night around 1 a.m. we had 2 explosions come from in front of our house, and we don't think it was fireworks. Because the sound sounded like somebody fired a shotgun right next to your head, and it was louder than a gun. So we're wondering what it was. My neighbor who was up a couple of nights ago heard the same thing, and I didn't hear this one. But this is, I guess, now the second time it happened. That it was like TNT or something like that being exploded all in front of our houses. Which reminds me, I got to get back in touch with my wife about that. So I'm waiting right now to head down to the pharmacy. I'm picked up another new insulin on top of this other one. This will be the 5th one added to my regimen. And I don't know. I was talking to a gentleman over on Twitter last night about it, and he's heard of it, and he says it's good stuff. Let me find it real quick. What the hell is it called? Victoza? Something like that. Victoza. I'm on that one right now. I've got another one that I'm... and it didn't work. So I'm waiting for another one. I took that one for about 5 days, and my numbers were not coming down. Usually you'll see them gradually come down. They're not coming down any lower than 500, or maybe even 600. So we're going to take that one out of the equation, and I don't know the other one, but it is very frustrating. It is very nauseating, and it's not fun. It hurts. The pain is unbelievable, whether it be from the diabetes or if it'll be from insulin shots or glucometer readings. It's just nauseating. And like I said, I seem to go through this every 6 to 4 months of where I create a blocker to this shit. So please take care of yourself. Talk to your doctor. Get on a regimen that works for you. I mean, I've got... My doctor is even to the point of like, dude, go curl up somewhere and let go of this. Just because we're running out of ideas. And I have private insurance, and unfortunately, this shit comes out of my pocket, and it's expensive. And no joke, it's expensive. Each month, that's a house payment to most people. About $1,200. But I don't know. All I can tell you is if you're on metformin or anything like that, please don't let yourself get any further. Or if you're on the one insulin, don't get on a regimen of 6 of them, or 5 of them in my case. I can't keep straight as to which one I take at a certain given time, and I've been doing it for years. I still haven't come up with a plan. No matter, I mean, my daughter Leah has to remind me which one I'm supposed to take. She seems to grasp it because I'm just so tired of it. And that's the problem, is that I do want to be around and see them grow up and get married and have grandchildren. I will be shotgun ready for when my daughter does bring home the first boy, but it better be at a respectable age, I can tell you that. So if your loved ones, or if you have loved ones that are diabetic, talk to them. Make sure they understand how important it is to take care of yourself and eat properly and exercise. I mean, I used to ride a bicycle around town. I rode it something like 1,000 miles last year just in town, or going off on a couple of trails with Leah or stuff like that, or even Robert. But this year I bought an e-bike, and the damn thing weighs about 100 pounds, and trying to pedal that ain't fun, so I've gotten lazy, and I might as well just put the Jag back on the road. Well, the Jag is on the road, but take that out and about and go for a ride. If I'm gonna, I don't know. That's part of the reason why I don't drive, because I'm afraid that I'm gonna get into that thing and lose all focus of some sort of exercise or fitness or something like that. I know Joe's into massive fitness, and it works for him. I just don't have the energy to do so. Sleeping at night. I don't sleep at night. I'm up every 15 minutes having to go to the facilities, and it's fucking frustrating. I sleep until 11, 10 o'clock. I have been the last couple of days because of my crash that I had. I still feel groggy and out of it today. That only went from 500 down to 220, somewhere in that ballpark, but shot back up once I started to come around, and then while I was in bed, because I was wiped out from it, it hurts. And I can't stress to you people enough that those crashes are enough to kill you. I came out of 1300 this last round down to 100. My wife looked at me and thought I was dead. I just collapsed to the floor. I seizured from it. And that's no joke. You can seizure from these crashes. And throw these fucking things away. My poor wife is trying to quit, and she's having a rough time with it. A lot of stresses at work aren't helping because of the COVID-19 and being smack dab in the middle of this whole thing. It's not even hillbilly hell, but wondering when that case is going to come in, and if she brings it home to us. That's the whole reason why my son and I have been staying out in this RV, is to make sure we don't get it, because it's going to kill us. Well, me at least. The children should be okay, but even my wife, if she gets it, it's not going to help her. This video is going on 25 minutes, 22 and a half. And I'm wondering if I should either cut it now and do separate videos about some classic cars and cars that we've had throughout my life and my childhood, and Wayne Carini and that type of stuff. I was introduced to Wayne Carini. We had a Jensen Healy GT. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they only made about 200 of them. It was a 1976 Jensen Healy GT. And my mother was trying to be something that she was doing a fundraiser for the American Lung Association. How ironic, huh? Here I am, a smoker, and she works for the American Lung. And she was trying to impress some high-end clients for some money. But she invited them down to the house in Grant Long Point for a meet and greet and kind of wine, dine, and schmooze them, and let them have the cottage for 2 days. And while she tried to get some big bucks out of these people, but she drove the Jensen down there and was ran over by a tractor trailer truck. Thank God it was the passenger side that got squished, but we wrote it off as a total. Wayne Carini got a hold of it and was like, "Hey Bob," which is my father's name as well, "I can fix this." And we looked at him cross-eyed like, "Dude, really?" We knew that he did amazing work. He's got this little old guy named Roger that works with him, and he's just funnier than goddamn hell. And he's always been the silent person in the background. Well, now the show is kind of taken off. He's starting to come out more and more. And if you're into this type of stuff about classic cars, check it out. They're funnier than hell. And especially this little old guy by the name of Roger. He's been Wayne's right-hand man for as long as I can remember, and has been since day one that they started F40 Motorsports. So yeah, if you're looking for stock market, I'll do one of those. Put comments down below if you want me to talk about that and helping something about that, a video like that, and getting you in the right direction and stuff like that. I was gonna put Joe in touch with my father because he wants to start investing, things like that. But who knows? We'll see. We'll figure it out. Let me know what you want to hear. But I just wanted to jump up on here real quick and talk to you about the importance of diabetes and why it is important for you to take care of yourself and don't become a bob, or a boob. Because diabetics is hereditary. Your children may get it. You may get it if your parents have it. Etc. etc. There's all different forms of diabetes. You can get diabetes for drinking alcohol. You can get diabetes for not taking care of yourself. I mean, those are typically type 2 diabetes. A juvenile diabetes is somebody who was born with type 1, which is juvenile. You don't get to become a type 1 diabetic unless you are, you gotta be from, a newborn to like the age of 13 or something like that, where you can be diagnosed with type 1. It's where you are literally born with no pancreas, and those are type 1s. You don't become a type 1 if you're in your later years of life. That would be considered a type 2. And it still can be classified, because my pancreas is shot and I'm a type 2. But I wasn't born this way. I didn't get it until probably 20 years now. And I was trying to take care of myself, but being a chef in the restaurant, it did not help. I should have bailed when I had the opportunity and got away from that, because I cannot put down good food, especially when it's really good. I mean, last night I made chicken broccoli Alfredo for my wife as a belated Mother's Day, and I can't be eating like that. I shouldn't be eating like that. Exercise is your number one friend. And if you can get out there and do as much as you can, then I suggest you do it. Whether that's just walking, go for a walk, but don't go around the corner. Go for a walk. You need to, try to push yourself a little bit, go a little quicker and stuff like that. Work up a sweat so you do get your heart rate up a little bit. Don't get it up too high if you got some health issues like that. I hope this helps some people. And by all means, if you got questions, ask. Whether it be out here on Twitter, or you know how to get in touch with me. By all means, we can do a private conversation or something like that if you're thinking, or if you may wonder if you have it. And the number one sign of having a high glucose is not, I hate to say this, is urinating constantly. And a lot of it. It'll smell like, I'm not kidding you, like candy, because your system is flushing out all of those sugars. But eat healthy. Stay away from carbs. Stay away from breads, pastas, things like that. Pizzas. This is all shit that I need. I've got crave. This is the stuff I cook. All of that stuff, and I've got to taste everything, and it's not helping me. But if you're in a position where you're not in a restaurant, you've got a thing going, working for you. I've learned to ask other people or let other people try it, but my willpower of not tasting good food, it doesn't help. Anywho, I'm going to let you guys go for right now, and maybe I'll do a video about investing in the market and how to get started, finding the proper broker for yourself. You can be your own broker. There's all sorts of websites out there where you can buy penny stocks. And I would start low. Invest in penny stocks. You may get a dividend check of like 50 cents, but it's an idea of getting in, understanding how the market works, and getting dividend checks and when it splits and all of the shit that comes along with it. But if you're looking for a quick fix to get rich, you either need a fuck ton of money, and if you have that type of money, there's no sense of investing in the market, or but start with penny stocks and work your way up that way. Build, sell, build, sell, build, sell. It's going to take a long time to get to. It's taken us, I don't know how long, probably 15, 20 years to get to the point now where our dividend checks are close to 10,000. My father's are a little higher because they invested a lot more. Same with my aunt and uncle. My grandmother is, you don't even want to know what her dividend checks are, because they bought out Travelers Insurance, which is now the Hartford. She controls 51% of that company. Same with Dexter Corp, but Dexter Corp was sold out when when Dexter died and David died. The company was sold and broken apart, so it's no longer in existence. But Bozzy and Debbie and Windsor, my uncle, got a pretty penny out of that whole shamil. Anywho, I love you all, and I hope you're all staying safe. And even with this COVID-19, keep aware of your other. If you've got health issues, make sure you address those, because you don't need to. And this fucking cigarette is smoking like a son of a bitch. But I'll catch you all in the next, hopefully, and we'll go from there. Alright, so give me some ideas for a video you want to talk about, whether it be cars or boats, planes, whatever, stocks. Deuces, all, one and all, I love you, and we'll see you in the next. Peace!